지금 다운로드 받으세요.
We're still at the beginning of the day. This is only game number 4 of a potential 30 games that we have to play today.
Yep. Just looking at the wins road here for herO. He defeated Rave, Scarlet, and Bomber. And Scarlet actually having her best run ever. The closest the foreigner has been to Code A. 1 game away from getting into Code A. And like having that Star League run as well that she had was decent. Not as good as her Code A run, but anyway, she was beating other Protoss players. Couldn't beat herO. So even though, yes, herO did beat a foreigner to get into Star League, it's the best foreigner in the world potentially that we have. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, her and No Regret doing a great job over here. Keeping the passion alive. Still trying to get into Code A. But still, as always, very hard, or even harder than normal because all the Koreans, you know, coming back to Korea, forced to get into that one. But guys, we're going to jump into game number 4. Right away here, it's going to be on Dusk Towers, a PvZ between herO and Losira.
Target on my back, lone survivor last. They got me in the sights. No surrender, no trigger finger.
Here we are on Dusk Towers, everybody's favorite map. This very macro-oriented 2-player map. Down on the bottom left, it is herO, the Protoss player from Gigantus.
And up to the top right in blue, it is Losira. The only Zerg in the group. And this is not my favorite map, by the way. You were wrong. It's not everybody's favorite map.
Well, we see it a lot, so I just assume. We're probably playing it like 25 times today, so.
It may be every pro gamer's favorite map, but everybody knows I don't play this game. I only cast it.
Yeah,
and,
well,
it's not my favorite. I like Arena more.
We, in our first group, Group A, we had like, I think it was actually 20 games of Dusk Towers, something like that. But slowly it's gotten less. Wow, you actually sneaked that in. Nicely done. I'm going to actually count how many games of Dusk Towers we have today.
Okay, well, while you do that, I'm going to...
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to point out what's interesting about this game, which is kind of funny, is in our first 2 games that Losira played versus his teammate, he was the one who hatch blocked the Protoss, but in this game it was herO who attempted to hatch block Losira. Losira was like, no, I am the one who places the hatcheries. You're gonna fail to block my hatch, I'm pretty sure. No one could fail. Both times, in fact, the games where Losira played against Zest, it was Zest who failed to block the hatcheries that were on his side of the map. So, anyway, how many maps?
We got 12 games of Dusk Towers today, guys.
Okay.
5 in the first half and 7 in the second half. And because we do have teammates in this group, the first half is slightly longer, 16 games, and the second half is going to be 14. So... lots of Dusk Towers being picked by Protosses. Super actually picking it a lot here. As well as Zest picking it twice. Reality also picking that up 1 time. Super picking it 3 times actually in the second half. So really liking that map.
So I'm pretty sure that this PPP here, first of all, it's 3 Ps instead of 2, so that's already a warning. No, I'm kidding.
Another warning, he's going to be kicked out, actually, and we're going to have to play a group with 5 people.
But I do want to point out that it's possible that, you know, he could have just been trying to spam more pylons. He might be using original hotkey scheme, using the Brood War hotkeys to make pylons with P. Probably not, but
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just trying to like bring attention away from the fact that we have a pause here. Maybe an easier way to do that would be to check out the fact that herO has the goofiest pose we have ever seen on his monitor portrait down there below his...
What is he doing with his hand? What is that? Looks like he's trying to make like an origami bird with his hand or something. I don't even know what he's doing.
He's trying to do the Carmack. He's trying to do the Carmack pose.
Okay, herO's hotkeys is the problem. Yep. No problem. No, okay, so you got a small warning here. And, yeah, that's about it. He got a small warning because it was a hotkey issue for herO. No surprise. That's just a very common herO thing to do, to have problems with his hotkeys.
Yep. It's something that we do see a lot of the time. Cybercore blocked That's not going to be worth it, though, actually, with all these lings he already made. He expected this. He didn't miss the cancel, right? Okay. I was like, we missed it on camera, but I just want to make sure he got it. Saw the minerals, and I was like, well, that's not... I can't tell for sure. But yeah, he got it. Yeah. Probe's going home. Oh, or is he? Yeah, he's going home. It's fine. He's on his way.
He does survive for now.
Or is he actually? No, look, I mean, because the lings have slightly more movement speed. If he makes any turns or doesn't go all the way, like that probe could go down. I'm keeping an eye on him on the mini-map. The Adept is going to have to let him pass through. I hope he mineral walked. I hope he mineral walked.
I hope he did. Yeah.
Phoenix is coming out meanwhile, but I'm just pretty sure the probe gets home, but you never know.
More concerned about the life of the probe.
The lings stopped, so not only that, but the Adepts came down. I was pretty sure the probe was going to get out, but I wanted to hype it up a little bit more. You know.
Yeah, it was pretty hype. I'm glad you did that.
It wasn't as hype as I wanted it to be, but it was like, you know, slightly. Oh!
He dies.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. You can never be sure. You can never be sure, okay? No probe is safe. You walk out past the natural, and you could die. You always have to be prepared for that possibility. Every probe knows. Yeah. It's in their programming.
It's a rough life for the probes here on Dusk Towers, or any map for that matter, against Zerg in particular. And we're going to have a long, drawn-out game here. herO's going to take a third base. I don't think Losira can really commit to try to taking that out, so he's kind of just going to macro here on 3 bases. We'll see when he takes his 4th base and how aggressive he does want to get there, and if herO is going to try to shut that down eventually. But we are going to start off with some Phoenix harass.
Only with 2 Phoenixes, still finds 2 drones. He's going to peace out. Down goes the Roach Warren. And this is, oh, burrow for a second. This happens every now and then. You know what I mean? Like, every now and then it's like, nah. It's like they considered blocking the 3rd base with a ling or something, or 4th base, I guess, in this case, but it's almost always canceled. Or if you pull a horror and you do a burrow movement timing and totally flops. I mean, I guess that's the only time I can think of in recent times where we saw an early burrow not canceled. Yeah. Should have been canceled, though. It's real.
Oh, that Phoenix actually gets sniped there. Nice focus fire by Losira. He's got a lot of queens, actually, on the map, and he's grouping them up to try to snipe these Phoenixes. He's got 5 so far, queens.
Yeah. It's going up to, I believe, 8 in total. That's the plan. Yeah, just 8
he's
now.
He's making a bunch of roads. I think he's just going to walk across the map. Here we go.
Yeah, queens are going. He's got a plan. He's going to execute it.
Losira is just not, he's not ready to play straight up macro games against Protoss. He's like, no, I'm not doing any of that crap. Here we go.
Army supplies. Like, he could actually break through if he gets enough Ravagers to make sure he can break the wall down.
Yeah, and with 8 queens, the Phoenixes are going to do nothing.
And don't forget,
they can't fight against 8 queens.
They're it's in the PTR. They're thinking about buffing the anti-air for the queens too. Like,
well,
maybe he's hoping that's going to happen. He wants to build a new playstyle.
Maybe that happens, and we just see this rush every single game. This is just the new meta.
Well, herO's trying to get 2 robos out to make enough immortals to hold this. Phoenixes need to be nowhere near those queens though right now with this many. Here's the Ravagers.
Oh boy.
And Losira, man, he's bringing some new style to this matchup in this group so far. He has to play against several Protosses, so I don't blame him.
I don't know if this is going to work, to be honest. There's way too many pylons at the 3rd base. And already a bunch of units. Warp Gate research finished. But here we go. Let's see what he can do. He's going to force out some overcharges. herO does not overcommit to the overcharges, by the way, only putting down 1.
Yeah, he doesn't have any creep for these queens, which is obviously going to make it very difficult for them to get in there and snipe structures or, you know, snipe Phoenixes. But they're doing their job once they get close enough. Lings get into the main, and that's because the wall is down here. Gross Biles trying to hit that Mothership Core. He's sending some Adepts back. Already 4 probes killed. But here's the thing: he needs to survive against these roaches.
The Mothership Core, and he doesn't. He at least gets an overcharge down, but he loses that Mothership Core.
He needs to hold on just long enough to get a few more warp-ins here, because it takes Losira a long time to reinforce with the army comp that he's building. He's basically only building lings because roaches take too long to get across the map. So if he survives a few more seconds here, he could definitely win this game. Queens being lifted up by the Phoenixes now. 1 immortal goes down.
Oh, and he's got a lot of Phoenixes at this point. 8 Phoenixes lifting up all the queens here.
So many transfuses, though. These gateways are starting to go down, and that means less reinforcing power for herO.
Losira trying to push in here. And only Stalkers and Phoenixes left over at this point, but it is going to be enough to hold on.
There's just no reinforcing power here. Lair started at home. That's basically the Losira type in GG with his production tab.
Yeah, he's giving us a good look of exactly where he's at this point, and it's not a good spot. He's on 48 drones here. He's going to try to drone up, but 8 Phoenixes coming across the map. There are 3 Queens, but that's not going to be enough when you're going up against 8 Phoenixes. He needs to make spores right now, but a ton of damage can be done by these Phoenixes.
There's so much energy built up, despite the fact that he was lifting nonstop. Okay, this is a nice little run by here, but look at this. He just goes into the choke point. The Lynx can't get enough surface area to make this very worth it. Zealot block at the ramp, very well timed, and now these Lynx are actually going to be dead. They can't even get out of here, most likely. Phoenix is not being controlled currently. I don't even want to watch this. I don't know why we're looking at this. We just pretend like that didn't happen.
Yeah, herO just focusing back at home. But he holds with flying colors, and Losira now down 24 supply as he struggles to catch up. His 4th base is going to be unbelievably late, and I think all that herO needs to do is make a bunch of gateways, get charge, and march across the map and kill him.
If Losira's GG first.
There's no way that herO holds his 4th base. I mean, or not herO, Losira holds his 4th base. He's just so far behind at this point. The all-in did fail. And you can see here what I was talking about. Tons of damage being done by these Phoenixes. He had to overcommit to spores here to try to barely defend.
Yeah, his overlords are protected-ish. He's got so many extra ones that it's not going to matter anytime soon, but 18 Hydras on the way. That's the one thing that herO doesn't have the counter to yet, so to speak, but if you guys have been watching Legacy of the Void for a few months at least, you kind of probably already know that Immortals kind of counter Hydras in this game because you just press barrier, you make sure that's staggered correctly, and it's nasty. This is enough Hydras.
Good, yeah.
This is enough Hydras to push this away, though. He needs to be careful with his Phoenixes.
And especially with the charge and how many gateways he's powering up at this point. He's got 8. He's kept alive that Warp Prism too. He's not committing to the harass. Oh wow, he's actually going to take a 4th base. He's going later here. We've seen this a lot recently from the better players where they're like, no, I have a lead. Why would I attack? I don't need to attack. I can just make a 4th base and get a million miles ahead instead of just, a couple 100,000.
I think he wants to... Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think he wants to get Storm out, basically just have the counter to these Hydras. One other thing he could do before Storm is ready, too, is use that Warp Prism he built to try to cancel the 4th base Losira is making. He doesn't have the Warp Prism over there right now, but it absolutely could be nearby in case the Hydras try to attack before he does have that AoE damage. I think basically this is a 1 game for herO unless he makes missteps. I think you put it best when you said he wants to be a million miles ahead, not just a couple 100,000.
Yeah. It's essentially like, he's got a 90% chance of winning if he attacks right after that, but he wants a 100% chance. He wants a 4th base. He's Protoss on even bases on Dusk Towers against Zerg when the Zerg got so far behind with the all-in, and he's just going to attack with all the tools instead of almost all.
32 Hydras, 33. This is going to be one of those games where it's like, eventually we see Lurkers, there's like 14 Immortals on the map and 8 High Templar. It's going to, well, I mean, to put it simply, it's going to be a mid-game PvZ. But it's not a good thing for the Zerg when he doesn't have any sort of advantage. And actually, it looks like we're not even going to be able to see Lurkers. He doesn't have a Lurker in yet, and this is just so much pros coming across the map already. Although those Zealots are all alone, and the Hydras are having a field day with them at the top.
herO literally A-moved into this, okay? He literally A-moved into the best concave a Zerg could have, and he's so far behind that it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Or so far ahead, rather, that it just doesn't matter. herO's going to push in here.
Although, look, more Hydras coming out and a bunch of Lings. If he actually overextends here, he could end up losing more. Look at this. Well, I mean, now's the time to fight. Actually, he's... I don't know, guys. I mean, that was not a good fight for herO. Like you said, it was a 1A, but at the end, it was like a not even do anything fight. He wasn't even pressing A. He was right-click moving, taking Hydra damage when he had the surround he could have grabbed there.
Well,
he's still ahead, but that was kind of gross.
Not the best fight, for sure. And it's okay, because he's got a 4th base, right? It's possible that he does that before, and he loses the fight, and he's like, well, I'm on 3 base. I guess I struggled to take a 4th base.
Oh, my God.
Well.
Lurker Den's on the way, guys. I mean, I don't think Losira has any real, like, I mean, Losira can't outplay herO to win the game, but herO can continue to make mistakes and Losira can come back. I mean, this is starting to look like classic, PvZ from the beginning of Legacy of the Void.
I think the Korean caster actually just said, like, I have nothing to say. He's also like, wow, that was really just not the best fight.
Yeah.
Losira is going to take a 5th base down here, not in the normal location. He wants to hide it a bit.
It's also going to be a good location to kind of pincer with his lurkers from. It's going to be kind of zone the Pross off from doing a ground push towards that location. I mean, looking at this again, look at the army supply, look at the composition. Lurkers aren't ready yet.
And this time he doesn't have, what was it, 42 Hydras. He's only got 18.
And this time Storm is ready with High Templar. Like, he had Storm last time, he just didn't have High Templar with energy. Losira is doing everything he can. He's like, maybe I'll get 2 Zealots here, like cost-efficient trade, and I'll force him to turn around. He needs Lurkers. Those are not Lurkers.
Yeah, they're going for the counterattack.
He's trying to grab the High Templar at the back because they're slower, and he knows hero's basically just moving across the map. But he's trying to force him to turn around so he can get enough Hydras out to get Lurkers.
Wow, 26 Hydras on the way, but herO is already hitting with this attack.
He's going to let this base go, and remember, he has that other base. I mean, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate for Losira here because this has not been the most best played from a head game by herO, if I can use really PC language.
I mean, this is definitely not the cleanest game we've ever seen. Storm going down. The Hydra's coming from 2 directions, from the front and from the back, but that's not enough. GG. herO taking the game as we expected, but making it a little bit interesting for us. Taking a bit longer to take that one. And that was herO's home map, so not going to get any extra points here. But that's all right. Still taking that win.
This is a great format. I wasn't sold on it when I first saw it. I was like reading it on a Korean website, and I was like, my brain was like, wait, what? It was 2 points and 2 maps, and this gives me a headache. But actually, now that we start to cast it and stuff, this is going to be the last group with this format until next year, if we even have it next year.
Yeah.
Because we could just go back to brackets or whatever. But I don't know. I like it a lot. It's definitely creating a lot of drama and tension.
I mean, especially that group with Trust and SOS going up against each other in the tiebreaker match. If you guys didn't watch, that was pretty epic. Trust going 5-0 in the first half and then 0-5 when he needed just 6 wins to make it through 100%, but he forced a tiebreaker because he lost 5 games in a row against all the same people that he won against in the first half, rather, which is just unbelievable.
For him, it was just that elusive